I've been sitting here for like probably a minute or two, wondering how come nothing says anything, and all of a sudden realize I haven't hit start live video. Anyway, I'm here, and I gotta really be careful how I say what I say here. I'm gonna tell you the story, and I'm gonna give you the complete detail probably on another video, because Temecula, Murrieta, I'm telling you, there's a silly place. This is a great attorney. She's never been arrested before in her life. She's in the business now of defending people who just can't find a decent attorney, an honest attorney. So she's represented Patrick Lamar Watson, or she is representing Patrick Lamar Watson, who's been falsely accused of street racing. It's been over 4 years. She helped Moses Estrada Jr. get 2 criminal charges dropped over from his ex, a liar. But this is not about our cases, is it? This is what happened. Friday, 2 cops came to her house. One a Filipino cop, one a white cop, and that white cop happened to be an officer in the Army Reserves. Well, let me tell you a joke, right? So maybe you understand how I feel about this one Filipino cop. When she was arrested, he asked her a question, either one or two, and she said, and because she's an attorney, she speaks in big words, she says the latter. Now, let me give you an example. Choice number 1 or 2. You ask me choice number 1 or 2, and I say, I choose the latter. Well, the Filipino cop sat there and looked at her in confusion, because I think he thought she was asking him for the latter. It took the white cop to explain to the young Filipino cop, hey, she's saying she chooses the last choice, right? So here we finally got an attorney that's willing to basically fight for innocent people for cheap. Patrick Lamar Watson's had like 7 public defenders, and each public defender wants to go to trial and just say, we're going to just let the DA do whatever they want. But I'm not guilty, I'm not guilty. The young man for over 4 years kept saying, I'm not guilty, and nobody listened to him. So she gets arrested. And how did she get arrested? Her husband, who's a doctor, white guy, sent the cops over requesting that she be arrested, demanding that she be arrested. So it basically is a citizen's arrest, all right? 3 weeks ago, they were talking on Parent Talk. A lot of the court is making people talk on a program where you actually write things in, so everything's documented. He accused her of talking about something besides their son. Well, the discussion was, she said, here's a video about something, neurology or this N-word that she thinks that he has, medical condition that he has. She says that something that her and him should be involved in. Go to a class or something to learn how to raise a child with this medical condition. So when the cops came, now you got to understand something. She's an attorney. She was on the 2nd floor. She saw the police. She didn't see the enemy coming. So she came downstairs, opened the door, and talked to the cops, and she says, that's what we were talking about. So guess what? They arrested her. Before they arrested her, they said, well, we're going to have to arrest you. So she closed the door on him, and the Filipino cop forced the door hard on this attorney, female attorney. Now, where I come from, or where I came from, if I was a cop and I'm a person, I pull over and I'm an attorney, usually they give attorneys respect because they're court law appointed officers. You can't get better than that. That's why I encourage everybody to become an attorney. I encourage my children to be an attorney. But I guess in Murrieta, they don't care. Now, this is not the first time she's had a problem with Murrieta Police Department. This is actually the 3rd time. And all these cases is all about her ex, the white doctor. Okay? I mean, let me tell you what a scum is. Wife says to the man, I want a divorce. And the man who makes $30,000 a year or $30,000 a month says, well, then I'll just work 6 days a week. Why? Because his attorney told him, you work too many hours, you have to pay her too many child support, alimony payments and child support. So you need to lower your work. That's what a scum is. If you're a man and your wife tells you she wants a divorce, you continue to go to work the same amount of hours. Because the money you're paying to keep the kids at the standard that they're used to living, right? But that's another subject. Anyway, they took her, they arrested her, and here's a joke. As they arrested her in her house, they had to go out through the back because she's selling the house. Basically, she's not even living there. She lives in Ventura County. They see her computer run. They're being nice now. They're like, oh, do you need to turn off the computer? And she's thinking to herself, I'm handcuffed. And you're asking me that? She says, no. So they walk out through the back, through the garage, and they take her down to Southwest Justice Center, where she works really hard in defending us, people of color. All right? So basically, I think this is a big picture, bunch of people getting together, maybe it's just in my mind, to try to take down a good attorney, an attorney that poor people can afford, because she's basically working pro per. What she charges, I told her, this is ridiculous. You need to charge a lot more to make them pay monthly payment the rest of their life. But anyway, so they get there, and her blood pressure is 230/90. So this is a tip for you guys, all right? So if you get arrested because of COVID-19 and all this stuff, 230/90. They couldn't book her. They couldn't book her because her blood pressure is too high. So they says, well, we're going to have to take you to the hospital. She goes, you're not taking me to no hospital. I don't have blood pressure problem. But at that time she did, because this is her first time being arrested. I mean, the thought, she's thinking, oh my God, I'm being arrested. I'm an attorney. I'm being arrested. You know, and the thing is what really bothers me, folks, and you guys really, a lot of you guys probably won't listen to this part, but homeless people get cited and released. So if that cop really wanted to, if they were smart and they were giving her respect, they could have cited and released her right there at the door and said, here's a ticket to show up to court, and you in the court decide what's going on here. No, they took her in. So when she denied and refused to go to a hospital, they called their sergeant. They should have called their sergeant in the first place. They could have called their sergeant and said, look, you know what, this is a family issue. This is a court order, family court issue. She's an attorney. I don't think this is a good idea to arrest an attorney, right? So their supervisor says, well, take her back, cite and release her. Well, shit, if that was a choice at the beginning, why didn't you do that in the beginning? This is an attorney. Criminal defense attorney, right? She won one case already. She won her second case. And before this, she wasn't. She was doing other stuff, little civil stuff that doesn't mean diddly squat to the world. But now she's making a difference. So guess what? She's experiencing the pain of going against, I call, the dark side, the Murrieta Police Department. So they take her back, and now they're being nice to her on the drive home. And she's pissed. So she spent hours since Friday talking to me, researching, and she's found out they violated her rights because there was no probable cause. She answered truthfully, and the stuff that she was talking about was for the benefit of her child and his child, their child, right? But that Filipino cop who doesn't even know that latter, L-A-T-T-E-R, means later or the last part, he's probably assuming it's ladder, L-A-D-D-E-R, because most Filipino people need a ladder to get to places in life because they're kind of short, you know? I'm being mean here. I'll tell you why I'm being mean to the Murrieta Police Department. The second time that's happened to her was I was staying at her house, making sure nobody broke in, and then I left. Luckily, I left because the next day, the Murrieta Police Department came in there and forced or protected her husband, the real estate agent, to break open the lock, and she was holding the property. She had the right to hold the property. But the black cop, Murrieta Police Department, didn't care. violated a rule. Now, back in 2014, 2015, I can't remember the year exactly, she had a problem with a white blonde Murrieta cop doing the same thing. All right. This white doctor keeps talking. She's Armenian. So I told her, I said, they're not going to treat you like a white person because you're Armenian, right? You know, she's Armenian. Now, if you're in Los Angeles and you mess with an Armenian, all the Armenians get together and take care of business. But she's all alone out here. So, yeah, that cop did her wrong too. And she cited all these little things, you know. So there's more to the story, and I just couldn't wait. I've been holding back, and I said, you know what? It's Sunday. Tomorrow it's going to be a new day. And I want to do this video so her judge, Keifer, Elaine Keifer, can hear this and understand that we need an ex parte. And let me tell you why this all happened. There's a racist church in Murrieta, and I'll get you the name of it. It's a Lutheran church, so you can research it yourself, right? This Lutheran church on, I don't know when it was, maybe sometime this week, she said to them, says, you guys don't even make people wear masks. You don't even check. And she's picking up the child. She's picking up the child because he couldn't pick up the child. So she went to go pick up the child, and she noticed that people are not wearing masks. You know, I mean, I'm not a believer in masks, but if you're going to have children all together and the parents are showing up, nobody's doing any kind of checks or anything, they're violating the COVID-19, right? So what the husband did was he reached in and found a conversation that was 3 weeks ago and called the cops to have her arrested. That's right. And I'm pretty sure the pastor of this church is probably going to see a whole bunch of black folks and COVID-19 protesters there soon, because racism is really rampant there. Remember, this is the same city that I was kicked out of at the Freedom Rally because I look like Antifa. They accused me of being Antifa, right? This is the same place. This is also the police department where I called and said, hey, this white guy who, his name is, I think, Jeremy Oliver, threatened to kill me. They haven't investigated, or they haven't called me about the investigation. Nothing. They haven't done anything. Right? Isn't that deep? So Murrieta Police Department, this is just the beginning. We're going to go to your city council meeting. We're going to start picketing at all your churches that is all pro-white and anti-brown people, anti-people that just want to live in peace. All right? We're not going to stop this. So Judge Keifer, Elaine Keifer, do your job. Right? Do your job. And this is the best part. This guy, doctor, he got a restraining order on this attorney, right? A civil attorney, or civil restraining order, because he said that she was calling his work, claiming he has a mental issue. From what I have been told and heard, and, you know, I think he's got a mental issue, especially the way he treats his ex or his wife at the time. It's definitely domestic violence. What was I trying to say? But, and so what he's done now, since he's got the restraining order, he went ahead and called on her, on the state bar, to destroy her reputation. I'm pretty sure the evil people has reached out and utilized him as a tool to stop her. But you know what? Mike Hestron, District Attorney Hestron, who has a minority wife, we have a serious issue here in Riverside County, and you're an enabler to the racism that is happening. Murrieta Police Department, you are definitely wrong. White people cannot go around threatening people and you not doing your job and investigating. Temecula CPS, you're pathetic. Just because you know you're wrong, you go ahead and call the cops on me. Riverside County Sheriff's Department polices Temecula, and they called me on behalf of Michelle at the CPS office there in Temecula, claiming that I sent her nude pics. I mean, why the heck would I do that? But this is what people do in Murrieta and Temecula. Try to stop people who, like myself, trying to save lives, find justice where we can in little spots. And now they're trying to take down our civil rights attorney, our criminal defense attorney, all the same person. This all you can do it attorney who's been helping people for free for years, literally for years, who's also a strong supporter of Trump. I mean, she went out to Nevada on the last election, not this one, and worked to make phone calls for Trump. And this is how they treat her. Arresting. Oh, did I tell you she's a lieutenant in the Army Reserves? She's not active anymore, but once you're a commissioned officer in our country, you're always a commissioned officer. So she was a lieutenant in the JAG field in the Army Reserves. So we got a lieutenant who's never done anything wrong. We've got an attorney who's never done anything wrong. And she works for a very strong, big defense company. And guess what? Murrieta doesn't care. They send the Filipino cop. By the way, the Filipino has a problem with their egg roast. It ain't really good egg roast. They don't ground it up. It's very thick. You got to chew the shit out of it. Vietnamese egg rolls are better because you could have no teeth and still be able to eat a Vietnamese egg roll, especially if you keep it soaked in the fish sauce, right? It comes out really nice in your mouth. So I'm tired of these Filipinos saying that they got good egg rolls. They don't. And they don't have really good cops at the Murrieta Police Department. And I don't like talking shit about Filipinos because all my nurses are Filipinos at the VA hospital, and I love them dearly. And it doesn't matter if I talk nice to them or not. They're going to stick me hard with a freaking needle because these women get disrespected because they're short. And some people think they're ugly. I think they're very beautiful. I just don't like stupid people who don't know the proper English language. All right? If I ask for a ladder or escalera, I think it's I don't know, in Spanish, I'll tell you to step up. But if I say it's the ladder choice or I choose the ladder, you should know what the frick I'm talking about. But again, we don't expect our cops to be very bright, do we, Murrieta Police Department? A high school diploma is all you need to arrest an attorney who's had at least 7 years of education to get where she's at. And she doesn't have just one, law license in the state. She has it in New York and a few other states, right? She even went all the way to frickin' Hong Kong to get one, but then you have to stay there for like a year or 18 months or something, and she wasn't going to stay there that long to get her lawyer's licensing out there. So she's a great lady. But it doesn't matter how great you are. If you're passing through Murrieta, Temecula, you could be the president of the United States, and they're going to trash you because Murrieta is racist. I know. I ran from him. I haven't even been able to do my hair since I left because I'm such a nervous wreck. But I'm in Nevada now. I'm safe. There's a lot of diversity, and most people are packing a gun, and I love it. I love it. Nobody talks shit over here. But in California, you don't have to be important. You just got to be white, and you just make a phone call, and they arrest your attorney ex-wife, right? So guess what? If you're a white man, best place to be to abuse a woman is in Murrieta, because the Murrieta Police Department will be your further extension of your abusive ways. That's right. And just because you're a doctor doesn't mean you're not mentally ill. Remember the sex you had with your aunt? That was sick. Yeah, that was sick. Real sick. But I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to go there. I don't think I mentioned any names, so I think I'm going to be okay, Facebook. Right? Marxist, Marky, whatever Z you are, whatever ghetto title you're calling yourself nowadays. Anyway, folks, please share this video. And if you didn't watch it from the beginning, watch it from the beginning. I don't hate white men. I just dislike the abusive, lying sack of shits that come out of Temecula and Murrieta. They're special. They're special. They always like to pick on me because I have my kids around. I can promise you this. When my son is 18 and I'm 65, and my kids aren't around because they're all adults, and you talk shit to me, I don't mind spending a little time in prison, making friends and getting referrals for all my attorney friends, because it doesn't matter where I'll be, because wherever I'll be, I'll have respect. But where you'll be, yeah, well, let's not make any threats. I just like to make promises, and can't make any promises until I'm 65. All right? So Murrieta Police Department, we're going to be watching out for you guys.